Good day, good day, good day, and welcome back to Celebrity Watchdog, the only channel on the internet brave enough, bold enough, and absolutely unhinged enough to connect dots that nobody else even knew were on the same board. Because today, ladies and gentlemen, we are diving headfirst into a story so wild, so gloriously messy, so beautifully chaotic that when I first pieced it together, I sat back in my chair, stared at the ceiling, and whispered, "Only in Hollywood." We are talking about Lewis Hamilton, 7-time Formula One world champion, freshly signed Ferrari man, living legend, and certified style icon, who is now reportedly fuming. And the reason? Kim Kardashian. Yes, that Kim Kardashian. Buckle up, because this one is going to move faster than a Ferrari on the Monza straight. Quick favor before we get into it, if you are loving this channel and the drama we serve on a silver platter every single week, hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell, and share this video with somebody who lives for celebrity chaos. It costs you nothing and it means everything. Now, let us get into it. So, here's where we set the scene. Lewis Hamilton, after one of the most jaw-dropping moves in motorsport history, officially joined Ferrari. The man left Mercedes, the team he built a dynasty with, the team he won 6 of his 7 championships with, and signed with the prancing horse. It was historic. It was emotional. It was the kind of move that makes grown sports fans cry into their espresso. Ferrari had not had a driver of Hamilton's caliber in decades, and the world was watching. The pressure was enormous, the expectations were stratospheric, and Lewis, to his credit, showed up looking like he was born to wear red. Because fashion aside, this man has always understood the assignment. But here's the thing about Ferrari that people forget. Ferrari is not just a racing team. Ferrari is a brand. Ferrari is a lifestyle. Ferrari is a cultural statement draped in Italian leather and fueled by decades of legacy and prestige. When you sign with Ferrari, you are not just agreeing to drive a car, you are agreeing to become part of an identity that is fiercely protected, carefully curated, and absolutely non-negotiable when it comes to image. Ferrari does not share its spotlight easily, and that, my friends, is exactly where the cracks started to appear. Now enter Kim Kardashian, the woman who turned a reality television show into a billion-dollar empire, the woman who single-handedly made the word Skims a household name, the woman who studied law, broke down prison reform barriers, and still somehow found time to break the internet on a monthly basis. Kim has never been someone who sits still. If there's a lane to enter, she enters it. If there's an industry to disrupt, she disrupts it. And her latest move? Oh, it's a good one. Kim Kardashian has reportedly made a serious push into the luxury automotive and lifestyle space. And more specifically, she's been cultivating a high-profile relationship with some of the most exclusive European luxury brands, including circles that orbit very, very close to Ferrari's world. Now, before you say, what is the actual connection here? Stay with me, because this is where it gets delicious. Sources close to the situation, and by sources I mean people who are very much in the know and very much talking, have indicated that Ferrari's internal brand team has been increasingly uncomfortable with the overlap between Kim Kardashian's expanding luxury empire and the carefully maintained exclusivity of the Ferrari image. See, Ferrari has a famously strict policy about who gets to associate with their brand. They have turned down celebrities. They have refused deals worth millions. They have literally blacklisted buyers who they felt were not the right fit for the Ferrari image. That is not a joke. That is a documented, real thing that Ferrari does. They are the bouncers of the automotive world, and the velvet rope is very, very real. So when Kim Kardashian, who is polarizing, who is omnipresent, who is everywhere all at once, started making moves in spaces that Ferrari considers its own exclusive territory, the Italian brand apparently started having some very serious internal conversations. And those conversations, according to people familiar with the matter, started bleeding into discussions about how Ferrari wants to position Lewis Hamilton's public image during his time with the team. And Lewis Hamilton is not a passive participant in his own brand. The man has fashion lines, he has collaborations, he has a deep and genuine relationship with the luxury and style world that he has built over decades. He is not going to sit quietly and let anyone, including a racing team, even Ferrari, dictate who he can and cannot be seen associating with in the cultural landscape. And the reported tension between Hamilton's personal brand ambitions and Ferrari's increasingly rigid expectations of what their driver's public persona should look like, that tension is apparently very real and very heated behind closed doors. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you are Lewis Hamilton. You have just made the boldest career move of your life. You are trying to settle into a new team, a new car, a new dynamic, a new country, essentially. And on top of all of that, your team's brand managers are reportedly expressing concern about the broader cultural ecosystem around you, including, apparently, concerns about associations with figures like Kim Kardashian, whose name and image have been cropping up in luxury spaces that Ferrari considers its kingdom. That would make anybody furious, and if reports are accurate, furious is exactly what Lewis has been. Here's the thing about Lewis Hamilton that makes this story particularly spicy. This is a man who has spent years fighting for his right to exist fully as himself within the very white, very traditional, very conservative world of Formula One. He wore nail polish, he wore skirts, he advocated for causes that made the establishment deeply uncomfortable, and he did it all while winning championships and being absolutely impossible to ignore. So the idea that anyone, including Ferrari, might try to manage or constrain his identity is not just a business dispute. For Lewis, this reportedly feels personal. This feels like the same old story wearing a new red shirt. Now, let us talk about Kim's career move specifically, because it deserves its own spotlight. What Kim has done is essentially what she always does. She identified a market, she studied it, she prepared, and she walked in like she owned the place. Her expansion into the luxury lifestyle and automotive adjacent world is part of a broader strategy that Kim's team has been executing quietly and brilliantly. SKIM's crossed $1 billion in valuation. SKKN is growing. Her private equity firm, SKKY Partners, co-founded with Jay Sammons, has been making strategic investments in consumer and luxury brands. This is not Kim playing dress-up in the business world. This is Kim Kardashian playing three-dimensional chess while everyone else is still learning checkers. But here's the irony that is almost too good to write. Kim's success is exactly what is causing the problem. If she were less powerful, less omnipresent, less influential, there would be no issue. Ferrari would not care. But Kim Kardashian in 2025 is not a footnote. She is a force of nature. And when a force of nature starts moving through territory that legacy brands like Ferrari consider sacred, things get complicated very quickly. And now, Lewis Hamilton is caught right in the middle of this collision between two of the most powerful personal brands on the planet. On one side, you have Ferrari, ancient, proud, fiercely protective, and absolutely convinced that their red is a different shade of red than everyone else's. On the other side, you have Kim Kardashian, modern, strategic, unstoppable, and utterly unbothered by institutions that try to keep her out. And sandwiched between these two giants is Lewis Hamilton, a man who just wanted to win a championship in red and is now apparently dealing with a brand war that has nothing to do with lap times. The reported frustration from Hamilton's camp is that Ferrari's concerns, whether directly or indirectly tied to the Kim situation, are beginning to feel like an overreach. Hamilton did not sign with Ferrari to become a controlled brand asset. He signed to race. He signed to compete. He signed because he believes this team can give him the car to win his 8th title. And if the internal politics and brand management drama start interfering with that mission, sources suggest that Hamilton's team is not afraid to have very direct conversations about the terms of the relationship. And let me be very clear, nobody is saying this deal is officially dead. Nobody credible is saying Lewis Hamilton is about to walk away from Ferrari or vice versa. But what the reporting suggests is that there is real friction. There are real conversations happening, and the temperature inside those conversations is apparently quite warm. Not Formula One fire, but warm enough to notice. What makes this story so fascinating from a cultural standpoint is that it perfectly captures the moment we're living in. Celebrity is no longer just about fame. Celebrity is an industry. Celebrity is capital. And when celebrity empires start bumping into legacy institutions, whether it's fashion, sports, automotive, or any other old guard establishment, sparks are going to fly. Kim Kardashian did not set out to complicate Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari deal. She set out to grow her empire. But in a world where everything is connected and everyone is watching, the ripple effects of a power move can land in the most unexpected places. Lewis Hamilton deserves to race. Kim Kardashian deserves to build, and Ferrari, bless their incredibly stylish, incredibly stubborn hearts, is going to have to figure out how to exist in a world where the velvet rope doesn't work quite the way it used to, because the culture has moved, the power has shifted, and the idea that any brand, no matter how prestigious, can fully control the narrative around its drivers or its image in the age of social media and celebrity mega empires, that idea is driving on fumes. This story is still developing, and you better believe that Celebrity Watchdog is going to be watching every single twist, every reported conversation, every carefully worded non-denial that comes out of this situation. Because this is the kind of story that doesn't end quietly. This is the kind of story that ends with someone making a statement, someone signing something, or someone walking out of a room with their head held very, very high. Stay locked in, stay subscribed, and stay ready, because in the world of celebrities, the next move is always just around the corner. Thank you so much for watching. You are the reason we do this. See you in the next one.